and start the YouTube highlight from right here. This is Wednesday, and this is the weekly tank Q&A session where you guys can ask any questions that you have over about any of the classes. Warrior, DK, Pally, Druid, and I'll just offer any insight that I can, having played all the tank classes during pretty much all of the heroic content this expansion. So I can offer a little bit of advice from the practical application sense, not so much on the math side for the most part, but just generalized advice. So the reason I state that is just because I upload this to YouTube every night, every one of the shows, so you guys can go back and rewatch this or link it to people in your guild or something like that if they want to check it out. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. You guys, again, here now since we got the highlight going. For a blood DK, are the heroic shoulders off Morchok better than the tier shoulders? Honestly, it just comes down to if you're focusing on avoidance or mastery, because I'll go ahead and pull them up in a side-by-side comparison here, because that's a pretty common question. Oh my god, what are the Bracken Shell? Yeah, having a brain fart here. We're going to go ahead and compare the heroic version. Let's compare these with, we're going to add what the hell, backbreaker, the two other shoulders that are in question. These are the necrotic bone plate. Necrotic bone plate. Alright, let's look at 410s. Are they spalders? Here they go. Alright, so boom. Okay. So these are pretty much your, let me see if I can link you guys this link to this comparison. Okay. We'll just go ahead and use this. So I'm going to toss in here. As a Blood Death Knight, this is what you're really choosing between. Really, as any class, plate tank class, Warrior, Pally, or DK. These are your three options for shoulders. And generally, you'll want to be, wearing 4-piece with an offset piece. And in this case, you can still make that argument. And usually what you want to be looking for with an offset piece is something that, when you're gearing yourself as a tank, you want to be focusing on a defensive build. You know what I mean? You don't want shit with, like, expertise, or you don't want things with, like, hit, or things like that. You know what I mean? And as a warrior, just different tank classes have different weights on different stats. But the general rule of thumb is you want to be maximizing your defensive stats, because during progression, your threat takes a serious back seat. I'm not saying that it gains value through farm or anything. I'm just saying that at all costs you need to, put more of a focus on stats that are going to keep you alive instead of stats that are going to be more damage or more threat. In most cases, say some fights like Ultraction, you could have made an argument, for a taint DPS on that fight. But, nonetheless, this is what I'm getting at. I know a lot of people, myself included, going into this tier, we were, I was like, oh, we'll wear a 4-piece with Morchok shoulders. And then the more I just got to looking at it, I was just oblivious, really. I didn't really look at the numbers as much as I should have. You're going to end up with a lot more avoidance with the Morchok shoulders, but them only having one socket really kills them, especially with epic gems. Your heroic shoulders, tier shoulders, they have almost 400 mastery on them. That's just insane. And as a DK, you, in my opinion, you guys can, click the link at the bottom of the page if you want to read my DK guide and why I think the way that I do about mastery compared to avoidance. But in my opinion, the 400 mastery outweighs, you're gaining over 2 literal mastery rating compared to about 2% avoidance, and I'm not saying ignore avoidance altogether, but in my opinion, the mastery trumps it pretty hardcore. If the spine shoulders, they have a 6 eye level budget ahead of the tier shoulders, and they're cool and all, they're going to be more threat, but a lot of that item level budget, as you can see here, they have over 120, they have 121 more strength than the tier shoulders. So that's probably over, I don't know exactly the item budget conversion rate, you know, like one strength equals, you know, how many strength takes to equal one item level. But I'm pretty sure that those 6 eye levels are, you know, made up for through strength. You're going to be, you know, if that was haste, you maybe can make a little bit of an argument because haste is going to affect your rune regen, but they have lower mastery. The crit does nothing for you, you know, and things like that. So, you know, I have a lot of people asking about that. I would go with the tier shoulders, long story short. If you're going an avoidance build, I would go with the Morchok shoulders, but you're losing stamina, you're losing a lot of mastery, okay? All right, so hopefully that answered that question. We'll go ahead and keep this moving. Currently on Heroic, Spine 25. We don't have a Prot Warrior for Bloods. What's the next class would you recommend? Prod Paladin, bro. I mean, you want block tanks dealing with the Bloods. It's doable. We had a guy on here the other week during the tank one-on-one. I think it was either Manarax or Lindorn. One of those two guys was solo kiting Bloods on Spine on a Death Knight. So it was pretty impressive. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that, you know, both a Prop Paladin and a Prot Warrior have a group stun for the Bloods. You know, you can glyph Holy Wrath on a Prop Pally and, you know, take care of it there. Or if you're on your Warrior, obviously Shockwave. You know what I mean? A Warrior's by large is just the hands-down choice just because of Intervene, Intercept, Heroic Leap, Charge, you know, all that shit, but and Vigilance. But a Prop Pally is a very close second. And then after that, I'd honestly probably put a DK at the bottom of the list just because even as a bear, you know, if you got a lead, you could even, I don't know, go cat form, you Stampeding Roar. I mean, you've got multiple, you know, not a lot, but a little bit of speed increase. A DK, you really just have to, you know, make it happen regardless. I mean, you could glyph Bone Shield, I guess, so you can make that argument. Are the DK tier legs best in slot? Let's take a look. These are the ones that I'm wearing, if these are the ones you're referring to. Dodge, parry, mastery. All 3 defensive stats and, you know, having mastery as a primary stat on there, and you can reforge out of the avoidance stat. So, I mean, yes, those are best in slot. Okay. I just use, and this guy's asking, what about your 5-piece? I mean, this is one of the few tiers that I can remember where I've just worn all 5 pieces of tier. You know, it hasn't been, you know, 4 pieces and an offset piece like it was. Say last tier, your offset piece was a shoulders off rag. The first tier, it was tier 11. It was the, hang on one sec, I'll remember. I can't believe I'm having a helm, offset helm on tier 11. You know, tier 10, your offset piece was helm again, I think. I'm trying to remember which helm tanks wore at the time. In tier 10. Well, I can't believe I'm having a brain fart. I do remember the off piece was helm, but I can't remember which balls, which helm you wore in tier 10. In tier 9, it was pants. In tier 8, yeah, I don't remember that far back. So, you know, this is the first tier in a long time that you've really worn 5-piece tier. But in my opinion, that is the best. Let's see. Yes, I'll be doing live tank audits here soon. Plus, kudos to anybody that can name the offset helm out of tier 10. This is driving me nuts, man. Hang on. This guy said Ram Skull helm. Is that what it was? Who did this drop off of? Yep. He's got it. That's what it was, I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure this is what it was. Although I'm not sure why looking at it here. Huh. Like comparing the two, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. Why would we have worn that? I don't know, man. Couldn't tell you. Maybe it was, I mean, it looks worse than the tier helm, but that name does ring a bell. Maybe that was the helm. So, yeah, plus kudos for that, if that's what it was. I could have sworn it was something different, though, actually. Oh, Zonger's got it right. Yeah, that's what it was. So the hit used to be defense. That makes sense then. or something like that, then that would do it. That would do it, but the name definitely rings a bell, so that's what you wore during Tier 10. So yeah, that was what you wore back in the Tier 10. Wait, soccer, killing me, man. What was it then? What are you saying with defense? Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Yeah, that's what it was. He's right. The defense, because you were over the cap or whatever at the time. So, yeah, that was the helm. Name rings a bell. Okay, so that out of the way, kind of off topic, but a little bit of a trivia for you guys. Zonker coming in with the trivia stats and all that stuff. Let's see. If you guys got tank questions, keep them coming. While we're doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and get the spreadsheet open. You guys can just scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on the Armory Audit link, and it's going to go ahead and take you to the spreadsheet that we use here on the stream. If you guys want me to throw your Armory on here, this is tanks only, go ahead and throw it in, and then we'll get it going. I mean, I've got like so many on here, I've got to catch up, really. I just haven't done a lot of audits. But instead of going through someone's audit that may or may not be on the show right now, I'll get to those, at some point. I mean, worst case, they just end up, being on a show and us doing it live. If you guys have an audit, just toss it in here. I'll go through a few of those. One sec. Any tips for I'll keep answering questions while I'm doing some of these. We got a tank from Enigma here. I think I've heard of that guild, actually. I'm not sure. I think it's like a 10-man guild or something. Or maybe that's a different guild I'm thinking of. But we'll check it out. Alright, so we got this guy here, who is a warrior. I'll get to that DK question in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and check this out. And move this to the other screen that we can tab back and forth between here. Let's check out his gymming. This is going full full stamina with very little focus on mastery. I'm not sure if this is your armory, the guy that posted it. I would assume you're doing that because of a fight like Spine, where you need to tank the impales. But outside of that, I really don't know why you would be focusing on stamina as a warrior. If anything, you need to be, I would do like a mix between mastery stam and parry stam. But I wouldn't just be going full stamina on a warrior. I mean, because the thing about a warrior is you keep gaining value through mastery. It doesn't. I can go full screen for the audits if you guys want. I don't. Yeah, because your mastery keeps scaling, you know what I mean? So I don't know why you would ignore it, because I mean take a fight like Ultraction, you don't need the stamina. Take a fight like Spine, you don't need the stamina. Take a fight like Madness, you do need the stamina because you can't block Impale. So I mean, we can just go through every fight. Like Morchok, probably don't really need the stamina. That's almost full physical. Fight like Zanaj, you can get around needing the stamina with cooldowns. And your Saj, you definitely do need this. So I mean, the only two glaring fights where it's like a warrior has to have stamina, I would say, are your Saj and Madness. And I mean, yeah, that's your Saj. You probably work around that with a TB trinket and good healer cooldowns. But I mean, outside of that, again, I guess this guy's doing this for Madness. But if this is his setup for Madness, I'm not sure where he's wearing these trinkets. Maybe that's just what he logged out in. I mean, because you can't block it or avoid the impale, so these two needed to be stam trinkets, if anything. So I'm not really sure where he's going with the gymming he has here. We'll just go ahead and annotate that. Did that guy actually post? Hang on. Okay, so he's not replying. Maybe it's some guy just linking an armory for whatever reason, but yeah, we'll get to that. I'm going to go ahead and answer this other guy's question, and we'll get back to this audit. So any tips for a DK tank starting Heroic Spine, co-tanking with a Druid? Biggest thing, line your guys' cooldowns up, man. You need to be using the Druid's 4-piece every time that you roll, and you use your Vamp Blood every time that you pop an Amalg. Your 4 pieces are not really going to be any mitigation, they're just going to be amplified healing. So you need to be popping your Vamp Blood every time you have an Amalg blowing up. You need to have the Druid popping his 4 piece every time you roll, and then it should be up at the very last pop of the 3rd plate. And then take your healers. Hopefully you've got a Paladin and a Priest, and if that's the case, you AM one of the pops and you bury the 2nd pop on each plate. Biggest thing about that would just be cooldowns. You want to be letting him do as much damage to the tendon as possible. So whenever the tendon's exposed, if you can taunt a couple things off of him, go for it. I mean, you have a DK's really strong on that fight because you can, just the way your blood shield and stuff like that works, you can take very, very little damage from Amalgs that don't have any stacks from the Bloods. So, I mean, if you guys have in-depth questions about Spine, make sure you look at my YouTube channel and go through the walkthrough that I made for the fight. It goes very in-depth, and a lot of the stuff I'm referring to in the video is from a DK POV. Alright? Okay. The guy that said he linked it, that's just their warrior guild. So yeah, I mean, the guy maybe knows what he's doing. Like I said, this gymming is really reflective of Spine, and as Zonker even caught it, it's like, why gym like that if you're not going to fix your meta gym? So you tell him if he's gymming like this for Spine, he needs to change his meta gym to the 2% armor, because that shield block value when you're getting hit with the impale's not doing shit for you. The armor will, you know what I mean? So, and maybe this is just the way he always gyms. If he does, like I said, there's no real need to, and you're taking away from one of your strengths on a warrior, which is your high physical damage mitigation. So you can, you know, take it. You should be taking advantage of that, you know. And the only 2 fights that's not the case is Madness and Yorsage. Outside of that, you can get by with a really heavy mastery build. And what I mean by heavy mastery build, yellow sockets equal full 50 mastery gems. Blue sockets equal green gems, which is mastery stam, and red sockets equal parry stam. Okay, or I'm sorry, mastery parry. So go ahead and audit this here. Gymming needs to focus on mastery rather than stam. If you are using mastery or stam for madness, make sure you change your meta and trinkets. Okay. So let's take a look at, moving on from there, let's take a look at his reforging. He's reforging out of mastery into parry and dodge. And what the fuck? Hang on. Let me find out where this is happening. He's reforging out of mastery here. Yeah, this just, yeah, makes absolutely no sense. Out of mastery into dodge. No, that literally makes absolutely no sense at all, because this is why. I mean, you're going to get to the block cap as a warrior quicker by using mastery than you are avoidance. So it's not like he's reforging out of the mastery into avoidance because you're getting to the CTC cap. That's not the case. And it's like every bit of mastery that you have on a warrior spills over in. It's like once you hit 102.4, maybe that's what this guy thinks. I have no idea. Once you hit 102.4 of you know, CTC rating, it's not like it's wasted like on a prod paladin. You know, if you're a prod paladin, any other mastery past that point is wasted. So yes, you would need to reforge into avoidance. But on a warrior, every bit of extra mastery goes into crit block, which is, you know, to the point overpowered on a pure physical damage fight, because you know, instead of blocking an attack for 30%, you're blocking it for 60%. So I mean, reforging out of mastery is never into avoidance as a warrior, is never, ever, ever, ever the way to go, ever, period, ever. Like, not happening. All right. Okay, so that aside, his professions, blacksmithing and JC. To be honest, I would drop JC for leatherworking or engineering. Enchanting, let's check that out. Lava Walker, whatever. I mean, on a warrior, what I was getting at with that is, on a warrior, you don't need Lava Walker because you have so many, can get by with 50 mastery to boots if needed, since warriors have so many movement abilities. Let's check out this guy's spec. And good God, okay. Is this guy like an off tank man, or what's up? Honest, I'm just curious because blood craze, no, drop blood craze, and pick up drop blood craze and gag order, and pick, unless there's something about gag order, I'll go ahead and throw this out as an amnesty thing. There may be something about gag order that I don't know about, but I can't think of a reason to put 2 talent points in it. He's got 5 talent points right there. He can put into War Academy and Deep Wounds. And he has 0 points in shield specialization. This is honestly to the point where it's like almost a troll audit because this is so fucked up. And also drop 4. If you guys want to follow along with the spreadsheet, like I said, it's linked at the bottom. Glyphs, it's kind of hard to fuck up on a warrior, so those are good. Alright, so, I mean, that's a quick audit for that guy, man. If this guy's a main tank with your guild, I don't know how he's really getting by without shield specialization and or War Academy, deep wounds. I mean, he's got safeguard that's good for a lot of fights and things like that, but, yeah, maybe there's something up with gag order that I don't know about. Let's see. The link to this is on the bottom of the stream. Scroll down, tank audits, click it. Tank audit spreadsheet. Yeah, if I said Madness or Spine, I probably got him confused. Sorry. Trying to catch up on questions here. Armor reduces heroic madness and pale damage. Yes, it does. Auditing tanks only, yes. I mean, that's my role. Some people ask me to audit other stuff. I mean, I'd take a look at somebody's armory and be able to give you very generalized suggestions, but, you know, I don't play like a, you know, disc priest, so I don't know, like, the ins and outs of every single class. So, I mean, like, I specialize in tanking, and that's, like, my little, you know, that's what I enjoy doing in the game, so that's why I audit tank armories and go from there, okay? So that I don't know about them, I just don't know about them in depth enough to be able to, you know, give you the type of critique that I would give a tank audit. How about his weapon, by the way, if you're talking about this warrior? I mean, the weapon's not bad, but, I mean, to be honest, the amount of healing, it was really good on PTR when we were testing it way back, but I don't know if they just nerfed the proc rate of Soul Drinker or what, but it, you know, it's just the healing done is not, I actually have, let me get this open for you guys. I actually went through a tier 11 content run. Let me log on to my DK's Facebook. See if you guys have added me or not, but, let's see here. Let's see. I posted a World of Logs right here. This is on my Facebook, so if you guys want to add me on Facebook, go for it. I try to keep up to date with, oh, no, wait, that's not it. I had a link, hang on. I had a link to a tier 11 content clear that I did with full dual wield Soul Drinker. Here it is. Actually, go ahead and add this on my Twitter. If you guys want to just follow me on Twitter, you can go take a look at it. Because a lot of people always ask me, like, hey, Rig, did you try dual wielding Soul Drinker T11 content clear logs? Boom. So it's on my Twitter. You guys just check my Twitter out if you want. Links at the bottom. You guys will be like, why don't you just post it in stream chat? You know, I can, but you know, I won't be that big of a dick, but, you know, you can please follow me on Twitter, and that would be awesome. As you can see here, healing by spell, this is basically every single fight. I did was 13 fights. I think I did 12 of the 13 fights with dual Soul Drinkers on. You go to healing by spell. The drain life from that was 43% overhealing, and it almost, I mean, it did really comparable healing to my rune tap. Okay, so yeah, that's not substantial. I don't know. I mean, some fights I could see it being worth it. I just a lot of fights is static mastery and stats of your other weapon. The threat is not really that big of a deal. The only thing you're really losing is the static mastery from your two-hander. Okay. Try to catch up on stuff here. Your other options are the Morchok one-hander. We take a quick look at that so you guys know what I'm talking about. Is it Hand of Morchok? I don't know why I'm thinking of that. Maybe that is it. Bam, man, I'm on a roll. Alright, so yeah, that's your main option is a tank, really. I mean, you got crit. You would obviously reforge into dodge, more likely than not. You look at the weapon damage of that, and you're 24, 25, 14, and then, you know, it's... This is a normal mode Soul Drinker, so we can compare that to... oh, fuck me. Okay, so yeah, you got weapon damage, 114 difference, things like that. That's your two choices. So you just pick between. I mean, you got a socket on here too. That's pretty huge. Whereas here, you just have the health gain. All right. So very fight situational. All right. Let's see. Oh, this guy's saying that he's trolling with his itemization or whatnot. Yeah, I'd probably say that too. Hopefully he's actually serious. But yeah, that's what how not to gem your warrior. I'll just leave that up right here while I catch up on questions. You guys think that I'm not reading chat? I actually am reading chat. I'm reading every bit of the chat while doing the show, and that's why it takes me a while to get to some of these statements, okay? So it's not that I'm not reading chat. I'm just thorough and like seeing what everybody's saying to make sure I don't miss someone's question. We got Philo linking the DK that solo stuff. We'll actually check him out. Alright. Doesn't Soul Drinker scale with your health pool? Yes, it does, but not a lot. So I mean, it's very minor. And I mean, yes, I am mastery gemmed. If I gem full stamina to try and take advantage of the Soul Drinker and things like that, it may do a little bit more healing. But at the end of the day, it's not going to double its healing or anything. And that's, you know, if it was doubled, then I mean, it would take more than that for it to be like a drop down. You need to pick up this weapon and use it now. You know what I mean? Oh, this one guy's pointing out on the logs or whatnot that there's two different drain lives. You got one here from the main hand and then one here from the offhand. So, I mean, you can add them here. You can add them together. Even still, it's not that much. You can look at drain life, 209, 595, 209, 595 plus 73061, 282k. Whereas the rune tap is 232k. And I'm not sure what you're talking about. Drain life is 2 times more than my rune tap. At the same token, you need to understand that this rune tap here and this rune tap here are 2 different things. This rune tap here is the one that's healing me. The one here with 17 hits, that's the one that's healing the party through my glyph. So it's not actually 2 times more. It's only, 50, like roughly 50,000, less than 50,000 healing more over the span of, 11 boss fights. Or no, I'm sorry. This is actually just for Nefarian alone, this log that you linked here. So it's comparable to rune tap still. So yeah, I mean it bumps up a little bit. If you had both that are heroic, you're looking at an increase. I don't know. It's probably an offhand versus main hand debate where the offhand's not proccing nearly as much as the main hand and things like that. Even still, I mean, when I get another heroic one on my main DK, I've got 2 on my second DK, so I might just use it on there. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, thanks for pointing that out about the other drain life adding into it. I actually didn't see it way down there. I was just looking at the other one. So. Yeah, it adds a little bit more value to it. I still don't think it's like, oh shit, dual wield them. I do think it would be situational. A fight like Bellrock or something like that where your health keeps scaling. I think it's going to gain the word I'm looking for, gain value, I guess. But yeah, I'll wait. I'll keep posting parses on it. By no means have I written it off. I'm actually I was one of the people that kept saying, don't be surprised if it actually ends up being good, because you read all over EJ and things like that, everybody was just like, oh, well, the dual wield taint debate's dead, stop talking about it, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't even know why people jump on that bandwagon so quick. I mean, I tell you right now, I'm pretty sure the proc rate was changed, because on PTR, it was insane. I mean, I remember picking them up during our PTR sessions, and I was just blown away at how much healing they were doing. And, I think that they definitely changed, it's got like an ICD on how often it can proc or something, because during PTR it was proccing, within 2 seconds of another proc and things like that. So, like I said, I'll pick up another one. I've got 2 on my second DK. I may do the whole Dragon Soul next week with both of them on, and we'll see how it goes. But I'll post updates on my Facebook, so if you guys want to, if you're some of those, log rats who like going through logs like I do, make sure you're, keeping up to date on that. Keep this moving here. But thanks for pointing that out, for real. I didn't catch that. The guy's talking about normal Soul Drinker versus Morchok. We just went over that. If you guys have questions about mages or anything like that, I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. You guys need to put those questions, post them on Blood Legion's public forums, and one of the people of the appropriate class will get to it. All right. What do I think about the heroic rag kill with 10 Death Knights? We should do a US one. I don't know, maybe. It looked pretty cool. I was watching them do the Major Domo and things like that, and I was watching them do Riggnaros, and it just seemed like the main problem they were running into, I don't know, I couldn't really, I didn't watch it a long time, I did watch it for about an hour. It seemed like the main problem they were running into on Riggnaros is they had a lot of people that weren't really experienced with the fight. So I actually think it may be doable on 25-man. They just, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It'd take a lot of logistics and a lot of time. I would maybe be open to setting something like that up at some point. We'll see how that goes. If there's enough interest in it or something like that, I would get it going. Philo, yeah, I'll get to that armor here in a second. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and check out this other this DK here on Aftermath. Okay, so this guy's a DK. Let's go ahead and put his audit in here. Alright, his gymming. Got fracture license, fracture damage roll, fracture blah blah blah. Okay, so his gymming's along the right pace, focusing on mastery, that's good. He's got a spell damage taken meta in. I'm not sure what's up with that, so let's go ahead and talk about gymming. Good, except for meta gem. Why? Reduced spell damage. Yeah, that's very, very, very Maybe a fight like your size. That would be about one of the only fights I could see that being an option. Let's just take a look at his enchants. Good, good, good. Sunscreen Gargoyle is good. Mastery, good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make a note for him to use Lava Walker on heavy movement fights. Other than that, he's good. We're going to look at his Reforging Mastery Dodge. Looks good without going super far in depth with that. At least he's going for the right stats. So he has props. Mining and jewel crafting need to drop mining for leatherworking engineering. Now we're going to check out his spec. Lichborn's good, 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 good. Spec is good. Glyphs are good. So yeah, this guy's really good glyphs and spec. So not bad at all. Just probably change that meta gem. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Do you think it's worth it for a raid to go back to Firelands to grab the legendary for one of the casters? It depends on how far into the quest he is. If it's something that's feasible, and depending on how long you're going to have left on content, yes, I would say it's worth it. I mean, it's a really big benefit to a caster, DPS, and things like that. Let's see. Zongar, I guess, looked at a little bit more at his reforging. I don't go super into the reforging deal just because I try to go through these a little quicker than not. He's saying that he didn't even get the socket bonus on his helm, and reforged. Zongar, what are you talking about? Which one was reforged pointlessly? Just curious. I'll go ahead and put that on here too. Pick up socket bonuses, and the thing is, a tank is it's like whoops, bonus, or whatever, socket bonus. There's no socket bonus if it's stam, parry, or mastery or dodge as a DK. You kind of want to pick it up regardless because there's no bad stat. Mastery is a little bit better, but that doesn't mean that others are horrid. And just a general rule of thumb that I go with is if it's a yellow socket, I put a green gem in it, mastery stam. If it's a blue socket, I put a mastery stam gem in it. If it's a yellow socket, put full mastery, and if it's a red socket, I do mastery parry. So, I always try to pick up socket bonuses because those are free points. You know what I mean? So, it's not horrible. I guess if you wanted to technically get down to it and you had somebody crunch the numbers to be completely, min-maxed, you maybe could make an argument that, ignore something like a 10 parry socket bonus for a full mastery gem or something like that. Yeah, like I said, I'm not like a super mathlete guy, and I'm not going to sit here and claim to be. There's people out there that are smarter than me when it comes to that. So those are the people you would have to look at math. Just make sure the math is well-founded and things like that. Zari said he reforged out of the parry instead of the expertise on the helm. Yeah, that's a case in point. And I would think why he probably did this is because the parry had more value. But like Zonker pointed out, and for those of you that are curious, you may be like, Zonker's a mage. Well, Zonker tanks all the content. He's tanked all the content this X pack as well. On his alt, he plays a prot warrior, Zonky. So, I mean, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to this. And that's the guy that I turn to whenever I need the math stuff done. He's our resident, him and Shinafei are our resident mathletes, and attacks us as a honorable mention. But yeah, you don't, even though you're going to get more value from reforging the parry, you're reforging out of a defensive stat to get a defensive stat, and you're not touching a stat that doesn't give you any gain to living. You know what I mean? So like, you're going to lose less overall by reforging the expertise instead of the parry. You know what I mean? You're going to gain more mastery by reforging the parry, but in an overall scheme of things, you're losing more survivability because you're keeping the threat stat untouched instead of reforging the threat stat and probably ending up with, I don't know, whatever 40% of 233 is. You'd probably almost be at 100. So, losing a little bit of mastery, but it's overall better doing that anyways. Let's see. This guy's asking why not get 75 stam gems and blue sockets as a prot warrior after the CTC cap. I've already went over this. Maybe we weren't here. As a warrior, after you hit CTC cap, it's not like shit loses value, okay? Your mastery keeps gaining value because anything that you have over the cap just spills over into crit block. So that's why you keep focusing on mastery as a warrior, with 2 fights being the exception. Madness and Your Sage. Those are the only 2 fights where a warrior needs to worry about stamina, because you can't block and impale, and Your Sage the huge amount of magic damage intake, okay? Quick fix for Your Sage, you can keep your mastery gemming. You just need to wear a Tolbrad resist trinket and have good cooldown usage and things like that. So, I mean, you can work around on Your Sage, but on Madness you're going to have to regem stam if you're a warrior for the most part, unless you have enough raid CDs to make it happen regardless. But, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take one or two off of my Twitter to go for here. A lot of you guys keep posting them in chat. You guys do me a favor and add them to my Twitter, and that's where I pull it from. And the reason that I try and promote that is just because, you know, having more people follow me on Twitter and more active on my Twitter is helping me out. Because, you know, whenever we're trying to get stuff done through sponsors or whatever, it's like, hey, look, you know, Rig's got a follower base of, you know, 600-700 people on Twitter. This is the kind of audience that he can reach. You know, I'm taking my time out of my day to audit your guys' armories free of charge, you know, just because I want to. The least you guys can do is follow me on Twitter, post on my Twitter to do your armory link. And if you guys don't want to take 30 seconds to do that, I'm not going to take 5 minutes to look over your armory. You know, it is what it is. All right. I got one here. This is a Prot Warrior, Center Mighty. We'll just go ahead and check out his Prot gear and go from there. Add him to the spreadsheet. Okay. This is right here. Alright, so check out his gemming. This is a warrior that's going full out stam from the looks of things, and this just falls into what I was saying earlier. You know, it's not beneficial for a warrior to go full out stam except on Madness and Your Sage. Period. That's just all there is to it. I'll just go ahead and put that in here. Only go full stam for Madness and Your Sage. Focusing on mastery will be your best bet. Okay, then we're going to check out his enchants. Greater Mastery, it's good. Drakehide, Lava Walker. There's good. So his enchants are good across the board. Got an Agi neck. I know this is his off spec. That's probably why he's wearing something like that. Probably pick up the VP neck or something whenever you get the VP. One thing I'll note about a warrior is just use 50 mastery if you want. A warrior has insane movement benefits outside of boot enchant. So yeah, I mean, like as a warrior, you know, the Lava Walker gain, it's still good to have, and on some fights, you know, say like Rag, I would have used Lava Walker, but, you know, pretty much any fight in Dragon Soul, I would recommend, as a warrior, just using the Mastery enchant, because you're going to get more out of it, and you don't really need the movement. Anything you need movement for in Dragon Soul, you're going to have a Heroic Leap, a Charge, an Intervene, or an Intercept up for, you know what I mean? So take advantage of being a warrior. I'll show you guys Reforging, Dodge Mastery. So I'm not going to go like super far into this and just look at... I'll just quick skim over it. Zark already caught one thing that I missed on that other one. So like right here, he reforged out of the parry for that reason that we said earlier. I would recommend reforging out of the expertise. Dodge Mastery, that's good. So yeah, just make sure that you're reforging out of the... Make sure to reforge out of the threat stats instead of these survive stats. Okay, now we're going to take a look at his profs. I think he's blacksmithing, leatherwork, or blacksmithing, jewel crafting. Okay, drop JC for leatherworking, engineering. Actually, I'm pretty sure you want to go with enchants as well. Use 50 dodge to bracers instead of 40 stam. I don't know, that's debatable actually. Maybe he's got it set up for tanking Madness or something. So I'll have to ask him about that. Let's take a look at his spec. So he's got Safeguard. Yeah, this is a really good spec. I think I was talking to him the other day when he was making it. You know, he still picked up Safeguard at the cost of a little bit of threat. Only 1 out of 3 deep wounds. You know, I see some people usually drop 1 point out of shield specialization. You could move that over to deep wounds, get a little bit more threat, but at the end of the day, not that big of a deal. So spec and glyphs, he's looking pretty good. That's that. So let's see what I got to catch up here with what you guys are talking about. Wouldn't stamina's values go up after the cap? No, I just went over that. On a warrior to try to keep dodge parry within 2% in favor of parry for hold the line. Yeah, I think there is a magic number for that. You do want to favor parry as a warrior because of hold the line. Somebody may be able to put out that magic number. I don't think you want it super different. You know, you don't want 80% parry and 10% dodge because, you know, of how the DR works. Obviously, those are extreme numbers to prove a point. But, yeah, you want to keep them within a close amount. I'm pretty sure somebody may have the magic number for that. I don't think it's very much at all, though, but it is in favor of parry. As Larry said here, there's a certain ratio you want to maintain based on your overall mastery and dodge plus parry in order to maximize hold the line, uptime, and minimize avoidance loss from DR. So that's exactly what I was talking about. There is a magic number. I definitely heard somebody say it before, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Did I ever test out Soul Drinker? How did it work out? Yeah, I already did that. I posted the results on my Twitter. If you guys are just, follow me on Twitter, and then you can check it out. I'll toss it in here. You can go through the whole log, though, just because I'm not going to be a total asshole. But, yeah, follow me on Twitter, please. Dean Hahn, I think that's some tank. He's a buddy of mine, but he doesn't really tank a lot of the content on much of it. It's just one of those people that maintains the characters just to, have them type deal. Doesn't really tank on much of any of them other than, I think, his Pally. That's about it. Let's see. In fact, we'll go ahead and take a look at his armory. As soon as I get caught up with questions here. Threat is not an issue in the game, really, but tank DPS stats are very significant in 10 mins. Tanks make responsible for 78% of the damage. Yeah, that's correct. I don't know. Even with that mindset, I wouldn't really put too much value on tank damage to the point to. I mean, you want to put tank damage value to as high as you can, obviously, but you don't ever want to be sacrificing the the survivability of your raid. And if it gets to the point where your tank's dying consistently because he's putting too much focus on threat and things like that, that is what it is. So, let's just check out this guy's armory real quick. I played with him for a bit. He's a buddy of mine from Storm Reaver. So let's check him out. That way we get a DK, a Pally, and a Warrior done, and then I'm going to take some more questions, and then we'll go from there. All right. So just looking at his gems, Mastery Stam, Parry Mastery Stam. So I'm just going to assume this is a guy I pretty much talked to a lot about prop Pally theory crafting. I'm going to assume he's CTC capped. I'm not. Don't want to feel like adding all this shit up, so we're just going to keep this moving real quick. And assuming he's CTC capped, a Paladin does want to focus on stamina and things like that. So it's kind of what he's doing outside of the CTC cap. I'm not sure why. Let's see. He's reforging from dodge and mastery, parrying and mastery, and crit and mastery. I'm assuming the crit's off the weapon. That's correct. So yeah, it looks like he's got his stuff set up pretty good here. As you notice, he's still using the armor meta. I actually think somebody said in here last week that the shield block meta was better. Somebody had actually no, I think it was Spazodin from Vigil was saying that. As a matter of fact, Let's check it out. Spazzo, Mal'Ganis. Let's check out his armory. And I'm pretty sure he uses the shield block meta, because that is what he was saying was better, and he had some math to back that up. So the only thing I would annotate really here about this guy's gems is check math on shield block value meta and switch if needed. Okay, that'd be something I would say to him. Let's check out his enchants. Good, good. Not exalted with Therazine. Good across the rest of that. As a paladin, you don't need Lava Walker. You have Pursuit of Justice, so that's good. Let's see. Let's check his Reforging. Already did that. It's good. And let's check out his Jewel Crafting Engineering. Drop JC for leatherworking or blacksmithing, because Jewel Crafting has less stats until they buff it. So we're talking about it from a complete min-max perspective. His spec looks here, he doesn't have Guarded by the Light. That's a huge no-no. Guarded by the Light is a very, very good talent. You should definitely pick that up. So you're going to pick up Guarded by the Light. Like you see, I mean, Guarded by the Light, this is stuff that, I mean, I don't know, if you were going for like server first and things like that, or, you know, world rankings, I mean, you want to make sure your tank's min-max, and, you know, stuff like picking up Guarded by the Light, he would just switch those 2 points from Hallowed Ground over to that, drop 2 points from Hallowed Ground. So, glyph-wise, Seal of Truth, Seal of Righteousness, no Word of Glory glyph. Use one glyph. Especially on something like Madness, popping wings, using Word of Glory, get a lot higher shield on you for more absorb by having Guarded by the Light. So, I need to tell, like I said, this is he's a guy that I used to tank with a lot back when he was, you know, really in the mix for world rankings and things like that. I think he's on like a server second guild now, though. So he's just doing the casual raid environment, and he's just kind of reflective. I don't know. I'm just trolling the guy. I'm not going to keep busting his balls. He's a good friend of mine, so I'm just giving him a hard time. Let's see here. Let's just check up with what's going on. This is something center linked. If you guys want to take a look at that, this is your parry. This is like the hold the line shit for a warrior. He also got a. Let's check out this other link center put in here. We'll take a look at that. I mean, there's a lot of good links floating around here, man. I'm gonna have to bookmark a lot of these. So we'll check these out. Alright. Okay, so, check out one more link here, and then we're going to wrap it up with some questions. Yeah, it's the same thing that, I'm just going to do you guys a favor, and I'm going to put, hang on. Alright, so we got that. I'm going to go ahead and put all, I'm just going to toss these out on my Twitter. You guys can actually go to this at any point and check it out for references. Okay, I'm just going to put all these on my Twitter, and then you guys can, yeah, just have that in a really easily accessed place. Fuck, I just closed my Twitter. Alright, you guys go ahead and post any more questions you have. I'll take a few more questions, and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Wednesdays are just the Q&As, nothing super in-depth. You know, I just like taking questions from you guys and, you know, helping you out with whatever questions and advice I can give. Like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I'll give you what I can. As a DK tank on High Warlord, is it possible to AMS both Psychic Drains? No, it's not. your AMS will not be active. If anything, wear a TB trinket and rotate between your TB trinket and AMS. There was a DK that was in here the other day. He posted his logs. That was a perfect example of how to deal with the psychic drains, because he had AMS for. I would recommend TB trinketing the first one and AMSing the second one, because yeah, the second time around you're going to be getting hit a lot harder from his physical attacks and things like that, and the AMS is going to be more reduction on the damage than the TB trinket. Excuse me. When do we get to see you Soul Dranger action and Tier 13 content? Tell you what, if you guys are on here next week, I will tank the full clear on my second Death Knight. That is raid number 1. That's our first. We do 3 raids a week, 8 out of 8 clears. Next Tuesday, I will tank the whole Dragon Soul with my dual heroic Soul Drinkers, and we'll see how it goes. I'll make sure to parse it. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just quick recap for you guys, and then we'll go from there. If you guys are new to the stream, make sure to follow it. The tank audit spreadsheet is at the bottom of the page. Make sure to bookmark that if you want. This is something that is like a rolling deal. You know, and if for some reason I've overlooked adding yours to the spreadsheet or something like that, as you can see, we've got quite a few people on here, up to about 135 people that we've audited and things. You know, so if you're curious to see about yours, or if I've overlooked it, just let me know. Post on Twitter. That's the way to get on this and get feedback and things like that on it. So thanks for the people that input their time and whatnot, and thanks to the people that have asked questions. This is an every Wednesday deal, so if you know your friend that plays a tank or whatever, if you want to have your guild's main tank hop on here and ask some questions about a fight, it's anything tank related, any tank class, any fight, anything at all that's regarding a tank. That's every Wednesday. And tomorrow's going to be the tank one-on-one. We have Ducks Warrior. He's one of the guys that got involved with the tank contest through Reddit. So make sure you guys are checking out the Reddit thread for updates on that. The link is at the bottom of the page. You can click that for more information. But tomorrow is Ducks Warrior, so make sure you're around for that. We'll have him on Skype going through some of his guild's logs, videos, and questions and anything like that that he may have. As far as tonight, the game plan is we have an 8 out of 8 Dragon Soul coming up here in less than an hour. And we're going to get that started. And once we get it started, if you guys can get up to 500 or so viewers, which usually gets pretty close, I'd say anywhere between like 300 and 400 on average. So you'd have a little bit of work to do. But if you guys can hit, we may bump it down tonight. We may go with 400. If we can get, I'll change it up. We'll bump it to 400 tonight. If we get it to 400 consistent viewers during the raid, you guys, I have some WoW TCG loot cards that I want to, go with. As far as the special guests, I see some people asking about that. I'm going to go ahead and throw you guys a link, and you guys can vote on it. So this is who do you want to see as a special guest. I'm going to put this in chat. You guys go on there and link. If you have another vote that's not listed, make sure to post about it. But this week it will be one of those people that's listed. So you have Juvie, Center, Troy, Quicks, and the round table of all of them above. So make sure you guys vote. That's who's going to be on the show Friday. It's just a rough hour or so of just you getting to know them, just being able to ask questions to them and going over a lot of the stuff that they enjoy about the game. So, all in all, good shit. Pretty good show today. There's a lot of good questions. And make sure you guys are following me on Twitter and add me on Facebook. I have a lot of stuff that floats through there. This will be uploaded to Twitch. Make sure you guys are subscribed, uploaded from Twitch to YouTube. So make sure you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel. Every one of the shows is updated there every single day. And make sure you can link them around your guild or whatnot. It's a lot of good resources and things like that. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to chill a bit before the raid, run a few commercials, and make sure you guys are around for the 8 out of 8 Dragon Soul clear tonight. I'll be on my main Death Knight. So, thanks again. I'll leave it running. Like I said, just going to do a couple commercials while I chill out before the raid. Thanks.